The Clockwork Emporium. On a narrow, fog-soaked street that most maps had forgotten, there stood a shop with no business hours, no windows, and a door that was always locked, except for those who had already lost something. Above the door, brass gears spun without touching one another, humming with a soft, mechanical lullaby. And just beneath them, engraved in tarnished gold, was a sign: The Clockwork Emporium, dealers in lost time. Most people walked past without ever noticing the shop at all. But on a cold, moonless night, one of the nights where the darkness felt heavier than usual, Elias Whitford saw it. He had been wandering the city with a notebook in his coat pocket, its pages bare except for a few half-hearted scribbles. He was a scholar of literature, or at least he had been. Lately, all his words felt hollow, time slipping through his fingers like sand. He had lost something, though he couldn't quite name what. The door creaked open without him touching it. Inside, the shop smelled faintly of ink and old winter. Shelves rose to the ceiling, crammed with hourglasses, broken watches, parchment scrolls tied with fraying velvet ribbons, and jars of swirling silver vapors labeled with elegant handwriting. 10 minutes before a kiss. A summer afternoon you wasted. The year you forgot to live. A woman stepped from behind a curtain of ticking brass chains. Her coat was made of patchwork clock faces, each frozen at a different hour. "You've misplaced something," she said, her voice warm like lamplight. "That is the only reason one finds this place." Elias swallowed. I don't know what I've lost." She smiled knowingly. "Then let us find it." She led him through aisles of memories and missed chances. When she finally stopped, she lifted a small box from a shelf so dusty it looked untouched for centuries. Inside the box was a single second. A tiny spark of light, no larger than a raindrop, pulsed like a heartbeat. "This," she said, "is the moment your life forgot to take." Elias stared at it, and in that shining second, he saw himself years ago, standing at a crossroads, offered a chance he had been too afraid to accept. A letter of invitation, a different city, a different future. He had let fear win, and time had quietly stolen something precious from him. "I can give it back," the woman whispered, "but time always demands an exchange." Elias hesitated. "What must I give?" She gestured around them. "Anything you've taken for granted. A month of safe routine. An hour of sleep you didn't cherish. A memory you never bothered to keep." He thought of all the quiet, wasted moments of his life, of years spent wishing instead of doing. With a trembling breath, he placed a memory on the counter. A grey, uneventful morning, he barely remembered anyway. Time accepted the offering. The second glowed brighter, bursting softly into Elias's chest, filling him with a warmth he hadn't felt in years. When he looked up, the shelves were gone. The woman was gone. The shop was gone. He stood once more in the fog-soaked street, but his heart beat with clarity, and his notebook felt suddenly heavy with unwritten stories. Some said, "The Clockwork Emporium appears only once in a lifetime. At the precise instant, you begin to wonder what became of the hours you misplaced." But Elias learned something truer. Lost time can always be reclaimed, if you're willing to pay its price.